Hello everyone, I'm Jeffrey, this is AutoAlchemy, and today I'm going to be using the Objective Personality System to attempt to type MEGHAN TRAINOR. So MEGHAN TRAINOR is currently being typed in the OPS classes. I'm going to type her before her type is revealed. So that's part one of this video, is my actual real-time typing. And then part two of the video, I will reflect on the decisions that I made, my thought processes, and see where I went wrong, assuming that I'm going to go off the rails. And I'm not feeling super confident about Megan, actually. I do know a little bit more about her than I have known about the other people that I've been typing in real time. I've seen some videos of her in the past. I found her kind of annoying. There were things that rubbed me the wrong way. And I don't know if I've picked like the right kind of video here, the genius like song breakdown format, but I thought it'd help me keep the video a little more compressed compared to my other videos, and that's been one of my objectives lately, so I'm gonna try that out. Yeah, every other interview that I saw was just, like Jimmy Fallon or something that doesn't feel very authentic at all. Maybe this won't be very authentic, um, but worth a shot. Just gonna dive into it, yeah, and see how I do.
TikTok #1 song 2 weeks in a row. TikTok has my heart. So if it's #1 on TikTok, I'm already like, there's my. She has a TikTok #1 song 2 weeks in a row.
Okay. Coming on strong.
She has a TikTok #1 song 2 weeks in a row. TikTok has my heart. So if it's #1 on TikTok, I'm already like, there's my Grammy. I win, Like I've done it. I've dreamed of this moment, saying, I'm back on top. It's been 7 years. We're back, baby. We didn't go nowhere. I wake up happy. I go to bed happy. I'm proud. I haven't been proud of myself in so long. And my husband plays this album and we never get sick of it. And I'm like, dude, like I have a hard time listening back to my stuff because
Okay, I'm letting it play for too long. So, right, whoa, that almost came out as like an Australian accent. Right out the gate. Right out the gate there. I'm saying a few things that I want to handle delicately, but some things are standing out to me. And so, a little.
She has a TikTok #1 song 2 weeks in a row. TikTok has my.
Like goofy, dramatic, kind of like doing like little character voices, modulating her voice.
Heart. So if it's #1 on TikTok, I'm already like, there's my Grammy. I win, Like I've done it. I've dreamed of this moment, saying, I'm back on top. It's been 7 years. We're back, baby.
We're back, baby. My voice is getting increasingly raspy. I don't know why shit like that rubs me the wrong way, but it does. And so I'm going to honor that and I'm going to own it. Okay, so anyway, what am I seeing? I said dramatic, maybe a little extra. You guys will be able to see the notes afterwards. Goofy, is that like possibly energy dumb? Is like goofy. Is that play? Is that play and like a hobby state, demon state? I only say that because it's kind of coming out in a weird way, like people who are savior play. I don't know. It could go either way, so I'm just going to leave it at that. What else? So, #1 song, TikTok. TikTok has my heart. I want to be on top. That is making me think that there's some SF kind of stuff going on here. So far we're very much grounded in reality and talking about like what's happening in the real world, what are the emotional value laden reactions to what's happening in the real world. Spending time cuddled up with her hubby, jamming to songs. That also has some kind of like energy dom vibe to it. Obviously people can do that who aren't energy doms. Like I vibe to songs, but I don't know how often I'm going to be like talking about it. I don't know what state I'm going to be in when I'm talking about it. I think I might be a little bit like, dude, all I did this weekend, all I did was, listen to songs. I'm like catching myself making the voice, and it makes me wonder, like, am I irritated by myself? What's going on here? Because I'm, whatever. We're gonna keep going.
We didn't go nowhere. I wake up happy. I go to bed happy. I'm proud. I haven't been proud of myself in so long. And my husband plays this album and we never get sick of it. And I'm like, dude, like I have a hard time listening back to my stuff because I get triggered. I go, oh no, nobody listened to it.
Still kind of like in the popularity realm. Nobody listened to my album. Maybe a little bit of decider. Not saying that she's a decider. What I'm saying is nobody listened to it. There's like a little bit of judgment involved there, so that kind of touches upon the decider, whatever it is, savior, demon, double decider. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not feeling very like optimistic about my typing abilities for Megan, but we'll see.
This one, I'm like, I'm proud of this work. This is really good. And I haven't been here in a long time, and it feels so good. It feels like my birthday party and everyone showed up. In a long time, and it feels so good.
You know, that also feels that little like expression to me, you know, the people who are savior feeling kind of in a savior state very easily communicate at times through like emotional expressions, like guttural, like, and it's just like I don't need to verbalize it. I can communicate that same amount of information through emotion. I feel okay expressing myself through emotion because I'm projecting and assuming that other people communicate and process reality in emotional terms. So clearly we're all gonna like get it, right? That's my thought.
It feels like my birthday party and everyone showed up.
It feels like my birthday party and everyone showed up. Like that's weird. Oh, I can't believe everyone showed up for my birthday party. How crazy cool. Another like area of like judgment, kind of like a decider metaphor. I know I'm already leaning towards SF, but you know, she's using this analogy of a birthday party. And you know, that's weird. Like, is it weird on the analogy or is it weird on the concept of a birthday party? What is the concept of a birthday party? It's all about you at a birthday party. Like everyone showers you with attention and with gifts, and so it's like kind of like a DI moment. So if you're kind of uncomfortable around the concept of a birthday party, then maybe you're uncomfortable with like being the one in the spotlight for a little while. And so she's being a little bashful around that. It makes me think it could be like demon DI, it could be demon consume. You know, consume being like very much about like more for me, more for me, more for me. I don't know. That seems like a very tenuous connection to draw, but I'm doing a lot of external processing today. All right, onward. How's it that I've already done 8 minutes when it's only been 40 seconds of footage? There's something about the whole attitude that she has, which reminds me a little bit of Kristen Bell, who is an ESFP but typed SETE, and I just don't, even though I'm seeing that, and there might be some, like at the end of the day in the final analysis, maybe there's something to that that I'm overlooking as a similarity, but I don't know. I don't want to follow that. My gut's like telling me that that's not the path.
I was inspired by my therapist, love you, who told me I should go in the mirror fully naked for 5 minutes every day, which is much harder than you think.
Inspired by my therapist. Shout out to the therapist. Thank you. The song is about like, it's a pretty good song, by the way. You should check the song out. But the song is, yeah, about, I guess, or inspired by body image issues. She's having
First
trouble.
time I was shaking. By the third time, I was like, oh, get it.
So she was shaking with anxiety, having to like scrutinize herself. This is like giving me another point for decider. And that's kind of a tough one because like body image, I think I've had some body image issues in the past. Used to be pretty self-conscious about my belly. And, you know, is that about judgment? Well, yeah, to some degree, but you can also kind of like hide the decider conversation in the observation and just focus more on like, oh, my weight is this, and oh, so I don't know. I guess it sounds to me like this is more like straight up confronting the possibility of like the harsh judgments and the harsh standards for self that you are holding yourself to. Standards for self also sounds a little bit like, sleep.
Thighs. And that's because I always struggle over my body, but then I had a C-section with stretch marks with the baby. It was extra. So I've been learning.
Extra. Like what is that? That's so weird to me. I don't know if I can analyze that, and I'm sure that once I feel like it'll click together once I have her full type. But yeah, it was extra.
Struggle over my body, but then I had a C-section with stretch marks with the baby. It was extra. So I've been
C-section, stretch marks with the baby, extra. Like, what does that mean really? It's like more communicating through like the emotion and like kind of leaving the actual like rationally articulated communication a little fuzzy. IDK.
learning to love this new body. I noticed that my husband, I could be all learning to love this new baby. It was extra. So I've been learning to love this new body. I know.
Learning to love this new body. Like learning to love myself, my new body. Yeah, that's another like judgment thing, right? It's like a decider thing. And that's like a state change, right? Like here's some weirdness. Everybody has like different kinds of state change, but it seems like, maybe this like comedic or like goofball thing is one of her defense mechanisms.
Noticed that my husband, I could be all glammed up and have Gucci, Prada, thousands of dollars on my body. And when
Gucci, Prada, thousands of dollars on my body. What does that mean? It's like Gucci, Prada, the highest of the highest. Stuff that's like, again, she's kind of aware of like the spectrum, right? Of like, these are the very like valuable things in the real world. People desire them. Doesn't necessarily make sense, but it just has like an intrinsic value to it. And so, yeah, what does that mean? That almost felt like more flippant towards Gucci and Prada. Or was it?
I could be all glammed up and have Gucci, Prada, thousands of dollars on my body. And when I'm my grungiest at home with
It's like, I don't know what to make of that. Is it a state change around like listing off all of the like, I have all of this stuff. I have the Gucci, I have the Prada, like making a little bit of fun of the person who would be like savior consume, savior SF consume, or is it like I'm giving examples and so I'm getting silly around the examples? I think it's more so on like it's a kind of person, like a little bit of a selfish consumer.
no makeup with messy
I hope this video makes sense.
hair. That's when my husband's like, "You're so hot." It's insane to me. And I was like, man, I still make you look to this day. It's been 6 years with you and you're still like, damn, even more than ever. So in the shower, butt naked, I wrote this song being like, I wish I felt like how he feels when he sees me. I want to.
That's a state change. Like, I wish I judged myself the way that he judges me when he sees me. I wish I, like the kind of like dissent, the like, there's a little bit of bashfulness around there. And again, like her husband saying, damn, that's like, that's kind of like an emotional communication, emotion laden, like feeling based communication. Damn, you know what that means. Like, we all know what that means. I feel like I'm sleep deprived or something. Okay, well, whatever. So, There's also something about her that reminds me a little bit of, the kind of characters that Aziz Ansari plays. I guess I'm thinking particularly of Parks and Recreation. It's like that kind of like inflection and that like goofiness and the communication through the the feeling, in my opinion. Um, and he's Savior FE, um, INFJ. So anyway, just more thoughts.
I want to feel those feelings, just like All About That Bass. That's what Made You Look is. But 2022,
Wait,
I'll make you double.
we're
It's
not
like All
gonna play any of the music. Reminds me of Aziz. um,
About That Bass. Like how he feels when he sees me. I want this song being like, I wish I felt like how he feels when he sees me. I want to feel those feelings, just like All About That Bass.
Also, kind of another triangulation point. It's like she's kind of like in the down position, right? Like, I want to feel like that. I want to be lifted up. I'm demeaning myself. I'm like my DI, my self perspective is very like small. It's somehow beleaguered by the world. So, she wants to like boost herself. Um, so more K's for Demon DI, especially just saying the thing about FE.
That's what Made You Look is. But 2022,
Oh yeah, that was interesting. Wait.
sees me. I want to feel those feelings, just like All About That Bass. That's what Made You Look is. But 2022,
So she's saying I wrote like this is the same song that I already wrote. I'm just writing it again in 2022. And yeah, 2022. Um, yeah, so what do I think about that? Like it seems to me that like a lot of her music is kind of coming from this place. And this might be where I'm biased by my pre-existing knowledge of who she is, but a lot of her music seems to be that like let me cheerlead for you, let me boost you up. I'm thinking of all these girls who probably struggle with body image issues, not necessarily just girls, anyone who's struggling with body image issues. I want to like uplift you, and I'm gonna keep writing like the same kind of like cheerleader, rah rah rah. You're fine the way you are. You're perfect. You're beautiful. Um, Doing that same process again and again, that makes me feel like it's like Savior Blast. Like I'm gonna like, especially if it is FE, if I'm seeing it right, then it's like I'm gonna rah 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 for you and do the same. Like she's doing the same thing again and again. She's just reiterating that. Um, that's a case for Savior OI. Blast? Question mark. Sleep? Question mark. I I don't want to say. I'm skeptical of sleep because she seems so playful, but I'm so open to her not being actually Savior play.
I'll make you double take.
Oh yeah, fuck. I said we wouldn't play any of the actual music.
I'll never forget being with Sean Douglas, literally eating our salads.
I'll never forget being with this guy, like this other person in the tribe, Sean Douglas. Shout out to Sean Douglas. I'm doing it now.
Being like, yo, what'd be funny? So if we said like chewing, being nasty, I was like,
Another like little character voice. It also reminds me of oh, the lady who does Bart Simpson's voice, who's also Savior Effie, just like, I'm gonna be like goofy, I'm gonna enter a character. Maybe it also reminds me a bit of the guy who voices Mario. I don't know his type, but I think he might be like FENE or FENI or something. But okay, so what else? Being nasty.
so if we said like chewing, being nasty, what'd be funny? So if we said like
This is a stretch, but I've already like seen a point towards demon consume, and I think that even thinking about eating food, you know, you it's not like a perfect association, but you can also make that association between like actual consume and the animal of consume, actual consuming and the animal of consume, because like when you're eating, it is like a very like selfish act, and she's kind of portraying it in like a negative light of just like we were just complete animal gluttons scarfing food down, and that's when she kind of enters that like weird state change again. Eh?
chewing, being nasty. I was like, if we said like, call your chiropractor when your neck breaks when you're looking at me. And it was just like that, just fun all day. Fede, the producer, was messing around with horns.
Fun all day, you know, more energy. This other guy, the producer, you know, more in the
I was
tribe.
like, we need horns for this track. And he played ba 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 ba. And I was like, that's the hook for the verses.
Yeah, she's kind of explaining it and the sensor. Here's what happened. Here's what happened. I think that she might be audio because she's a musician. I've said it before. I don't really like the modalities. I don't like thinking about them when I'm doing my typing. But I'll lock in at that and come back to it later.
I want that twice every time. That's the best part. And it is one of my favorite parts. Cause I'm about to make a scene. Double up that sunscreen.
I just like want to listen to it. I think it sounds so nice.
Ooh. Double up that sunscreen because I'm about to make it hot. I'm about to turn the heat up. I'm about to look hotter than ever. Yes, I'm a mother. Yes, I just gave birth. But I've never looked so good in my life. I'm a mother. That sunscreen because I'm about to make it hot. I'm about to turn the heat up. I'm about to look hotter than ever.
Hotter than ever. You know, what's hot? More like awareness around like the SF. TikTok popularity, you know, these are things that are like circling through her head.
Yes, I'm a mother. Yes, I just gave birth. But I've never looked so good in my life.
I gave birth. I don't know why that would be. Yes, I'm a mother. You know, I feel like a lot of the DEs kind of, you know, they like put a lot of their energy into single identities like that because they're not confident in the ability to expand upon an identity. So it all kind of like gets zipped up into one package. So yeah, we'll just go with that.
When I do my walk, I can guarantee.
Just scared that it'll like get claimed for some reason. Identity.
Anytime like it's going down for real with my husband, I giggle to the bed because I'm embarrassed and I'm like, here we go. You know, I'm literally goofy. But
anytime I'm about to get intimate with my husband, I giggle and I become
for real with my husband, I giggle to the bed because I'm embarrassed and I'm like, here we go. You know, I'm literally goofy. But when
more judgment, more goofy.
When I'm on stage, I turn the switch on and I become Beyonce. So I'm pretty goofy. But when I'm on stage, I turn the switch on and I become Beyonce.
Like I become like this powerful person at the top of the tribe. And it's a switch. I feel like that's a very decider way of like framing this. Maybe you could argue it's double.
So I was
double
trying to
decided.
picture that of like when I get my heels back on and I'm back in dance rehearsal. Just you wait, you know, it's kind of like that. And all my ladies, if you agree with this emotion and these feelings, then this is your bop.
All of you ladies out there, if you are in alignment that these are your emotions and these are your feelings, this one is dedicated to you and it's a bop. It's an SF bop. I'm feeling more like confident about SF as I go along. I say that and then I like start to cringe a little bit because how can you ever be truly confident until the moment has passed?
And this is for you.
And this is for you. I do it for you, as I say in my ENFJ rap. All right.
By people in the industry. You know what you need to do? You need to go put on a full Gucci outfit, go get your nails done, and call paparazzi so that they see you in those fancy clothes and that we could do more fashion stuff. And I go, well, that sounds like a nightmare. I prefer my hoodie, thank you. Or like when they're like, when we go to the airport, you should be dressed to Prada, down to in Prada and Louis Vuitton, so they know that you're a superstar and that you could do that. No, when I'm in the airport, I shall wear my scrubs. I don't give a. I don't care. I would choose to be comfortable over that any day.
Okay, I'm cringing, and it's because of the like I don't give a. Like,
outfit.
There's something about that really just
go get your nails done.
Okay.
Know what you need to do.
So in this section, she's talking about how
by people in the industry.
You know what you need. are telling her that she needs to get super glammed up, call the paparazzi, like call the paparazzi on yourself, drum up some attention, let them know, like let people know you're a superstar, let people know, like it feels kind of like the birthday thing to me, this like charge of reaction she's giving. It's like I don't want to make this all about myself and be completely in the limelight. Yeah, she wants to be like successful at her career, but it gets back to that like what I said before about like the SF consume, like that's a particular version of SF. Kind of being like the person with all the things and like the hottest value, and you're at the top of the hierarchy. And it's like, no, she like still cares about the realm of SF and wants to be like cozy and in her scrubs or whatever, but she doesn't want to be like that person, that like unless she's like temporarily channeling that energy as Beyonce.
industry. You know what you need to do? You need to go get your nails done and call paparazzi so that they see you in those fancy clothes and that we could do more fashion stuff. And I go, well, that sounds like a nightmare.
Another like feeling communication.
I prefer my hoodie, thank you. Or like when they're like, when we go to the airport, you should be dressed to Prada, down to in Prada and Louis Vuitton, so they know that you're a superstar and that you could do that. No, when I'm in the airport, I shall wear my scrubs. I don't give a, I don't care. I would choose to be comfortable over that any day.
Choose to be comfortable than to, yeah, to like have like an ordinary life. Um, that I don't give a, to me is like a little bit, obviously you can't help but like begin to interpret through the lens that you've developed, but it's like a little bit of reaching for like appropriateness. It wouldn't be appropriate for me to swear right now, even though she has like this curated vibe of being like, I do what I want. I actually thought she was an ESFP, kind of going into like learning that she was going to be typed, but obviously I'm shifting my perspective as time goes on. So yeah, I don't give up. Like I'm gonna be very appropriate, very aware of like the FE right now. I say I don't give a fuck. Like that's me stating my DI, right? But then you're like weird about it. You're kind of cringy about it. Not this time.
Or I thought you were tired. Yeah. When I first got on TikTok, I got a lot of comments that were like, I thought you were dead. Or I thought you were tired. Yeah. And I was like, no, I'm still here. They're like, do you even do
People were saying this. People. And I was like, my little DI was like, no.
music anymore? I'm like, I've been putting out albums. You're just not listening. But once they get on the M train,
Same thing.
once they all aboard, I feel like they're going to love it here and they're going to have fun and they're going to learn to love themselves. They're going to cry. They're going to work through years of trauma with me. And I'm just like a friend, I'm just a buddy out here that's like reaching out my hand. Once you get a taste of this, you're never going to want to leave. When I perform, there's that 14 karat cake. There's a day.
Like I'm reaching out to people again, that concept of like I'm doing it for you. Once people get it, I'm just here to be your friend, I'm just here to help. Kind of positioning herself as like the FE archetype again.
Dance move that Charm LaDonna created. That 14 karat cake, and then it's all booty, and I'm like, oh, this is my hot girl moment. So I feel really powerful and sexy.
Again, like a weird like this one time, I'm valuing the SF, but here and I'm finally like appearing as like the badass on top, the Beyonce, it's like me. I'm the one who's sexy, just for once.
Honestly, Sean Douglas wrote that line, and I was like, 14 karat cake. What do you like? It's gold. What are we talking about? And he was like,
this guy wrote it. I didn't understand it. Now is that a point for savior sensing, or is it a point for like savior intuition because she put on the voice and made fun of like the I don't understand it kind of mentality? I could see it going either way, but yeah, pointing to another tribe member.
It's like cake, and I was like, oh, it's my cake. That's that 14 karat cake. Ooh, be really confident. What you gonna do? Ooh, I like to be really confident and sing about being confident, and then I like to put it on them, and it's like, but you still need to treat me like a queen, and like, what are you gonna do for me? What are you gonna do to get this? And my husband is the king of that. Like, I want him to do a masterclass on how to be a gentleman and how to be an amazing partner in life in general. But this dude, 6 years later, still opens the door for me, makes my breakfast every morning for me, gets my coffee. I love him. And it's because he
this dude is so special to me. Oh, that's so sweet.
Makes my breakfast every morning for me, gets my coffee. I love him. And it's because he worships me and he takes care of me. And every person on earth should be treated like that. So what you gonna do about it? Daryl's like, I will be there for you. I love you. I worship you. And it opens the door for me. Makes my breakfast every morning for me. Gets my this dude 6 years later still opens the door for me. Makes my breakfast every morning for me. Gets my coffee. I love him.
Yeah, just more like she's definitely comfortable in the realm of feeling. I don't know how else to put it, and also in the in reality, she's living in the real world for the most part. She called him, a gentleman. She's describing very like traditional gentlemanly kinds of behaviors from an etiquette perspective, I guess. This might be a stretch, but it sounds like a lot of the things that her husband's doing for her are, maybe like well, I wanted to say like thinking related things. Like he's figuring things out for her and letting her kind of be like the airhead. Um, that's really insulting. So I'm sorry. I think I've gone too far with that comparison or that elaboration.
And it's because he worships me and he takes care of me.
Again, like, what is that? He worships me, but like she did that weird little. Is that like it's inappropriate to use the word worship out of like its standard context, or is he treats me again? It's like all this attention on me. He worships me. So spotlights on her. She feels undeserving of it in some way. Too like small for it. I don't know.
And every person on earth should be treated like that. So what you gonna do about it? Daryl's like, I will be there for you. I love you. I worship you.
Okay, cool. Well, so far I accidentally clicked end recording. So okay, jumping back into it. I think I feel pretty good about SF. I would be, I guess, not like horribly surprised by NF. I think I would be more accepting of ST though than NF. Um, I keep calling this feeling. I don't know if this is like controlled feeling in a savior state. I think it is. Yeah, I definitely think that it is. But at the same time, I think that, I could think of a couple of people who are thinkers who kind of also have like emotional leakage. And so, then it's like, what's the difference between like active, savior thinking, whatever? So, because in some ways she actually reminds me a little bit of Billie Eilish as well, which is weird because she's an ISTP in OPS. So, yeah, a lot to process there. But um, I will say, okay, I feel a decider, and she's on the DE side. And I'm just going to go all in and say, yeah, probably feeling, and maybe feels like a little insecure about her ability to make things click in some way intellectually. So, yeah, we'll do that. I'm also feeling pretty good about getting rid of Savior Consume. No, I'm doing this wrong. I always do it wrong, but not today. All right, so um, let's see. Yeah, it's hard to really know where to go to narrow it down. Um, Ladies, this is your bop. Um, yeah, okay. Let me try to approach this a little differently then. So I said goofy, so I do think probably energy dom. So we'll say these are still on the table, and we will say this one is still on the table, just for the time being. Um, I know this is weird. I think I am actually going to go all in on the play as play as a hobby, or like I'm so quirky and goofy and playful, like in a way that's a little bit peacocky. So, save your sleep then kind of restricts us to one of these two here, and if I do that, then I'm just gonna say ESFJ. So I know I'm not really like explaining my thought process well here at the end. I'm a little burnt out, but I'm gonna try to go for FESI, blast, sleep, play, consume. I like that too because I like to draw on the distinction created by. Um, oh no, I'm forgetting his name now that I'm like putting myself on the spot. Well, somebody, great guy in the community, created this distinction of the omnivert versus the ambivert. I talked about it in my last video. I won't give a huge lecture, but it was Habib who created it. Ha, remembered it. Okay, so she seems more like blended, like she is existing in both worlds. She has a decent introverted side and a decent extroverted side. She's not all the way cranked up or all the way cranked down. And in this distinction, if you're all the way cranked up, well, in this distinction, if you are an ambivert, which is what I'm articulating, then you're either play consume or you are blast sleep. I'm feeling more on the blast sleep. So, blast sleep, but then definitely an extroverted person, so it makes sense to be missing an introverted animal. So I feel pretty good about this guess overall. I'm just going to call it there. So thank you for tuning in. I hope I made this slightly shorter this time. I got it. All right, here we go. Bye-bye. Hello, Jeffrey here with a quick follow-up on the Meghan Trainor video. Not a lot to say on this one. I got pretty close to her official type, so I typed Meghan as audio, FESI, blast, sleep, play, consume, and her official result ended up being audio, FENI, blast, play, sleep, consume. So not too far off, not much to process here. I only got 2 coins wrong. Let's see, one thing that I kept harping on in part 1 of this video was that I was seeing a lot of SF talk, and I mean, technically, if she's FENI with play as a savior, then there's going to be a lot of SC and FE firing together, so I don't feel too bad about that. It's also really funny that I actually mentioned multiple NFJs in part 1 of the video, so I was kind of aware of something, even if I couldn't fully articulate it. I mentioned Aziz Ansari. He is an INFJ in OP. I mentioned, I can't think of her name, but the lady who voices Bart Simpson, who might be this exact type. Maybe the modalities are off. I can't quite remember. But I was picking up on something there. And then the other thing that, caught my attention rewatching part 1 of this video is that I mentioned my ENFJ rap and my whole I do it for you kind of mantra that's part of that song. So just really funny. I was kind of like dancing around the concept of ENFJ, but I couldn't quite stick the landing. So, that's fine. I don't really know why I landed on sleep above play. I immediately had regrets about that after I finished filming, but I was so done and just kind of phoning it in and overthinking things. So, I mean, blast play does make more sense to me, particularly once I saw some other footage of her interacting with other people and bringing a lot of energy to the table, and I just wasn't getting that when she was alone in this genius video. So, the selection of the video is on me, obviously. I still think I could have interpreted things correctly if I had thought a little bit differently about it. But in any case, what else to say? Intuition above sensing. So I even kind of like considered the possibility that some of her like example giving was in a demon state, and I really think I can see that now that I rewatch certain portions. So I have a piece here that I'll just quickly play.
Learning to love this new body.
Ooh.
Struggle of my body, but then I had a C-section with stretch marks with the baby. It was extra. So I've been
A little weird, but she's kind of like trying to give us some like concrete details of a moment in her life, and so her voice is this and then that and then the baby.
learning to love this new body. I noticed
Also,
had a C-section with stretch marks with the baby. It's extra. So I've been learning to love this new body. I noticed that.
still in an odd state shift right there, learning to love this new body. Someone who's kind of at odds with having a body and that body changing and the ups and downs of, existing as a human being in an embodied way. I can relate to that a little bit as an intuitive type. Um, Also, now that I think about it, it sounds like her husband is filling the role of like the ST perspective of actually doing, like making things work for her and the sensory world. I did see another interview where she was talking about how she is afraid of driving, and that's something that often comes up in the NF types because, hey, I mean, it's like scary to have to exist out there in like a fast changing reality and make decisions and just know what to do and what makes sense. So, that's another point for the NF. And I think she also does another, like, maybe a more clear example of the examples that I mentioned before.
My husband, I could be all glammed up and have Gucci, Prada, thousands of dollars on my body.
Just like, okay, I'm trying to give you a little bit of texture, a little bit of detail, but it's not the point. The point is like the analogy that she's making or the big picture. Like,
And when I'm my grungiest at home,
I could have this stuff, but I feel best when I'm most comfortable. I maybe even look my best according to my husband, right? So, anyway, hopefully that like clarifies a little bit of where I went off the rails. I think it does for me anyway. So, I'm gonna end it there, and thank you for your time as always. Gotta find the button to stop recording. Where is it?